insight as to the workings of the Office of the Attorney General and Federal Minister of Justice, you need to understand that it is not and has never been part of the functions and duties of the Office of the Attorney General to conduct investigation. So generally speaking, when issues are raised that have some criminal undertones, the responsibility of the Office of the Attorney General is to refer them to the relevant agencies of government that are saddled with the responsibility of investigation, inclusive of perhaps the police, ICPC, EFCC, among others. So with that in mind, during the course of investigation, there is naturally need for correspondence and exchange of mutual correspondence between the offices. Fundamentally, after the investigation, one report is presented to the Office of the Attorney General will review them to see whether there is need for enhancement of investigation along the line as it relates to certain key elements of the offense. So it is from this background and perspectives that you need to consider what truly transpired in the case of Abba Kyari. Allegations were made, investigations were conducted, and then requests for further enhancement of investigation were indeed made by the Office of the Attorney General for the purpose of covering the field in arriving at an informed decision, one way or the other. So while this process of correspondence between the Office of the Attorney General and indeed the police is ongoing, it is indeed a work in progress and never a conclusive position. So that is what I can tell you clearly. There was indeed a request for an investigation. Interim investigation report was presented to the Office of the Attorney General, and the Attorney General at a point requested for further enhancement of the investigation and highlighted some areas in respect of which enhancement of investigation is required. So it is indeed premature or perhaps mischievous for any conclusion to have been driven. Whether a person should be extradited or not is a joint function, or perhaps a multilateral function, inclusive of the international committee that makes a request, the Office of the Attorney General that received the request, and the judiciary to which the request is presented for review, analysis, and decision. So that is it. The case was presented on account of request of the international community, the US, associated with Abba Kyari. That one is distinct, separate, and clear case. And then while this was ongoing, the request for extradition was being considered. Another case set in, which has to do with the NDLEA, and this time around a local case, and that is devoid of any international dimension. And that brings about the operation, application, and enforcement of the Nigerian law. And then apparently, arising from that, he was charged to court on a different thing altogether, unrelated with the case at the international level. So what you have are two distinct, separate, and independent cases operating. One international in dimension, the other one local. So the idea of conflict does not arise at all, but the idea of misconception, misapprehension on the part of journalists perhaps reporting cases out of context without caring to understand the true position, dimensions, and characters of a case might have set in, arising from misconception. So what I am saying, there is nothing like confusion, there is nothing like conflict. They are two distinct and separate cases. Yes. It's been processed at the judicial level. You understand that? Sorry?